guidance. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Reading of the convening notice.
Opening and welcome.
Thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity and welcome our Honorable Executive Mayor, Councillor Mzwandile Masina, Chief Whip of Council, Councillor Jongizizwe Dlabati, members of the Mayoral Committee, Madam Chair of Chairs, Alderwoman Nozipho Mabuza, chairpersons of the Section 79 Oversight Committees, leaders of political parties in Council, all honorable councillors present here today, all aldermen and alderwomen in Council, City Manager Dr. Imogen Mashazi, Council Secretariat, our officials present, members of the media, and all our residents at home and in various places where they are to be part of this important day. Good morning. This meeting is convened under Rule 19, subsection 1A and 2 in terms of our council standing orders. Attendance registers have been circulated to determine the quorum. Indeed, we do form a quorum. ANC 105, DA 24, AIC 4, IRASA 1, PA 1, EFF, they're still going to give us, but all those that have given us the attendance registers with signatures and physical or warm bodies present are 135. Our quorum is 113 because we are 224, and this meeting is in line with the standing orders. We do form a quorum. On the 15th March 2020, our President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, declared the national state of disaster in terms of the Disaster Management Act due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus, with 61 confirmed cases of citizens infected with the virus in South Africa. The residents are encouraged to limit contact with each other in an effort to reduce the spread of this virus. Consequent to the statement by the President, in trying to comply with the directive, as this council, we have taken the following precautionary measures to ensure the safety of councillors, officials in the essential services and the media. One, today's council meeting will be held in 3 separate venues, which are this one, the new council chamber, the old council chamber, and the ESCO room, which are all situated in this precinct. The 3 venues will be digitally linked to one another to avoid having large number of councillors in one venue. All 3 venues are now declared the council chamber for the purposes of this meeting in terms of Rule 5 of the council standing orders. Councillors will be divided into 3 groups in order to comply with the President's directive of having a gathering of less than 100. We have 224 councillors, and we have divided the councillors in the following manner. Like I said, that in this chamber, all in all included, we must be less than 100. Same as the new old council chamber and the new and the exco room. And also want to say, instead of spreading another precautionary measure is, instead of spreading the council meeting to 2 days, we have compressed our council program to 1 day, meaning that it will be the State of the City address by the Executive Mayor. Later this afternoon, it will be the debate on the Soca. And lastly, we will meet for the ordinary council meeting, because we've got 3 important items that need council decision, and it must happen in the month of March. The public is prohibited to attend all our council meetings until further notice. We have provided masks for everyone who will be part of this meeting, those who wish to have those masks. We have sanitized all the 3 venues, including the desks and mics. We have health practitioners from our Department of Health and paramedics from our disaster management division who will assist us in terms of emergency. We have also sanitized all the 3 chambers. We've dealt with the spacing issue, as you can see, by having 3 separate meeting venues. Eating areas have also been separated to ensure that people do not get crowded in one place. On behalf of this council, I request our residents to adhere to the safety measures as mentioned by the President. And as the city, I think the executive mayor will give us direction on how we are going to assist to reduce or combat this virus. I welcome you all to this important gathering. And Mulweni, yes, our residents are waiting to hear what the executive mayor is going to say today. I wish to say that the State of the City address will be carried live by the following media houses: Newsroom Africa, DSTV 405, Kaya FM, there will be a live crossing, La Power FM, Lisedi FM, Voice of Tembisa, Kasi FM, EKFM, the City of Ekurhuleni social media channels, and we have also put screens in our customer care centers, understanding that the numbers are going to be limited. We have not invited any member of the public to any of our facilities, but those will be there because we have not shut down any government facility. Those will be there in our facilities, and those who are willing to follow what the discussions are going to be today will be free to actually be part. Without any waste of time, let me call our Honorable Executive Mayor, Councillor Mzwandile Masina, to take the podium and deliver the State of the City address. Over to you, Honorable Executive Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Alderwoman Patricia Khumalo, the Chief Whip of
Speaker,
Council, Councillor Jongizizwe Dlabati.
Speaker.
Councillor Mujatau.
Yeah, thanks. Speaker, we have taken a very difficult decision to come and attend this meeting based on the fact that there are precautionary measures that are taken by yourselves as people who are responsible for this gathering. Now, as we entered here, we're given masks. But if we check here in the house, a lot of our colleagues, particularly from the DA side, they're not wearing the masks. So all of us were afraid of this coronavirus. So it's a concern that has been raised now by members of our caucus to say, can we get clarity? Maybe they are not affected by the same coronavirus that we're afraid of. Can we be cleared so that we're safe? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mujatau. Members sitting here come from different political parties. And coming from different political parties, they have their own mandate, which cannot be enforced. We have taken precautionary measures based on what is expected of us as public officials. So we needed to ensure that in terms of that directive by the President, we do comply. So this is not the meeting to debate issues. Like I said, that Rule 19 is very clear why this meeting is supposed to take place. We'll follow that. Over to you, Executive Mayor. Any other matter will be discussed in our ordinary council meeting, but for this meeting...
No, Speaker, no. Maybe you did not understand what we are raising. We're not talking about procedure and why the meeting is called or not called. We're speaking in terms of coronavirus precautionary measures, which led to us sitting like this, whereby you had to use 3 different areas to conduct this sitting. As we come in here, there is a precautionary measure we sanitize our hands, we are given masks, all of us. And the health staff here insists that
That's a
you can't
point of
come
order,
in.
Chief Whip. Oh, okay.
You can't come in here if you don't have a mask. Now, we are raising a genuine issue of practicality that our members from the DA side are not having masks. Only one member of the DA we can see that is wearing a mask. Now, we want to know because this is a health issue.
Thank you very much, Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think leading up to this council meeting, the necessary measures were communicated and subsequently put in place. And rightfully, as the whip of EFF is saying, it includes, amongst others, masks, sanitization of our hands, sanitization of the furniture we're sitting in, but also, Madam Speaker, the important one, keeping the distance. Now, we note that the members of the Democratic Alliance are not wearing the mask as one of the precautionary measures. But I'd want to appreciate, Madam Speaker, that in terms of the spacing, whether they are wearing the masks or not, it should not ordinarily affect all of us, given the spacing. So I would want to propose, Madam Speaker, that we proceed, because in my view is that, for instance, they are far away from the ANC in terms of the distance. The major speaker says there must be a 1 meter distance, yes, between each other. So if whip wants a measuring tape, we can get a measuring tape, Whip Mjata, to confirm if there is a 1 meter.
Can I take Alderman Dilange?
Speaker, thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity. I'd like to put the DA's position as to why we're not wearing masks, Madam Speaker. I think those measures are there, and I want to appreciate what the Speaker and the Mayor has done to ensure that the institution is safeguarded, the precinct is safeguarded, and all measures are put in place. From the DA side, I want to read what the World Health Organization says pertaining to the wear of masks. And I think we need to take a cue, not from what people say, what the media says. We need to take a cue from those who are informed. Because firstly, I need to state that the virus is not airborne until somebody can tell me that they've seen that it is, because it's not. Then secondly, it says if you are healthy, and you only need to wear a mask if you are taking care of a person that is suspected of having the virus. Or it says if you are suspected that you have ill health or you are coughing or sneezing, you could wear the masks. So I think, Madam Speaker, we've taken reasonable care in order for us to safeguard. Social distancing is 1 meter away from each other. And if you can see, my chief whip is way than a meter away from me. I appreciate what you've done in this.
On a point of order, Madam Speaker.
Ensure that it happens. And therefore, Madam Speaker,
On a point of order. On a point of order.
No, no. Councillor Mjatau. No, that conduct, including councillors. No. We are not going to debate. Anybody who feels Uguti is threatened, we can't be debating issues
Hayi
of
wena.
order.
Speaker.
Order. Councillor Dilanye, please help us.
Speaker, can I just say?
Please help us, Councillor Mjatau.
Strike. Strike.
Order. You are out of order. Councillors,
Speaker.
councillors, I don't want anybody to actually mess up with this meeting. This is, I'm not going to allow anybody to misbehave in this council. I've already read the rule, and we have taken precautionary measures and controls as this council. Anybody who feels threatened by what has been put in place, or those who are not wearing a mask, to allow democracy to...
Our city manager, Dr. Imogen Mashazi, leaders of business, labor and civil society, fellow residents of Ekurhuleni, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to stand before you on the occasion of delivering what is undoubtedly one of the most important addresses in the calendar of our beautiful city. The State of the City's address captures the most succinctly our aspiration and serves as a reminder of our commitment to the people of this dynamic city, the city of Ekurhuleni. We are sincerely grateful to Council and to the people of Ekurhuleni for once again entrusting us with the responsibility of accounting for the work that we've done and for giving us an audience to unpack our plans to accelerate service delivery in the year ahead. It is also an honor and privilege that we do not take for granted as leaders of the executive. I therefore wish to submit that effective metropolitan governance is called upon for it as a functional region as a whole is to reach its full potential, hence the idea of community-based planning and processes we strive to bring along the society in general on issues of service delivery as we move forward. Ekurhuleni is a polycentric city which requires innovative space development strategies and governance structure of special type in order to meet circumstances of rigorous transformation of physical structure as well as our spatial pattern. It was in 2000 that this city came into existence in a unique and the first of its kind mega in South African history. The amalgamation of 9 towns and 11 administrations came together. We delivered the State of the City address on the 20th anniversary of this. This is the reason why we have themed this Soca of this year as follows: 20 years of the responsive and modern public service partner that foster change towards building a better Ekurhuleni. It is a theme that reflects the coming of age of this city, celebrating its responsiveness to service delivery issues, and also it is a significant role in fostering transformative and radical change in building of a better city. The last 20 years has been characterized by unmatched dedication on part of various administrations of the city. It has seen radical transformation in the lives of ordinary people, particularly those that are in townships and informal settlement who have historically been held in the margin of existence. The exponential growth in the population size demonstrates that the city is a destination of choice for many who are seeking better life for themselves and their families. This growth is a source of both challenges and opportunity. Above all, it is a stamp of approval on the work that has been done over the past 20 years. Work that is geared towards building a local economy that grows in the hands of the people through a sustainable investment and strategic partnership with private sector and civil society. The city of Ekurhuleni that was inherited by our first ever mayor, the late Ambassador Bavumile Vilakazi, is not the same city that we find ourselves in. Ambassador Vilakazi and his successors, namely Honorable Dumankosi, Honorable Ntombi Mihwe, and Honorable Mondli Kungubele, inherited a city confronted with significant challenges arising out of historic separate development. The establishment of this city was a logical conclusion to a protracted struggle by a democratic government of South Africa to annihilate the vestiges of apartheid past, a past that continues to find expression in our spatiality. Merging these historic and fragmented locales into one city, the democratic government succeeded in undermining the legacy of separate development that had made it improbable to bring about meaningful material change in the lives of oppressed majority, who to this day continue to navigate this difficult, informed by the legacy. We are the place of peace, not only because we are able to defeat the violence and terror of the apartheid regime and those who have become pawn of this repression, but because we continue to demonstrate unwavering commitment in pursuit of better life for all. In spite of many unique challenges that confront us, we have been able to create a sustainable city that can proudly boast achievement that surpasses those of our counterpart those that are bigger than us. I will touch on those, Madam Speaker, as we touch on the success stories of our city. We deliver this policy statement 3 days before the Human Rights Day, a day that is etched in the archives of collective memory, in which we remember brutal massacre of our people in Sharpeville and Langa, killed for protesting against a savage regime that had no regard for values of human life. This day in our history must serve as a reminder of what we have overcome and of what we should never again become, and why we have a moral obligation to defend this democracy at all costs. Sadly, Madam Speaker, this policy statement is made at a time when the whole world is grappling with the issue of coronavirus. We've seen how this pandemic is spreading like a wildfire in some parts of the world, and unfortunately, South Africa is not exempted. As a city, we've welcomed the decisive and prompt and strategic leadership that has been provided by our government under the leadership of President Cyril Ramaphosa on this matter. The intervention and clear directive given by President Ramaphosa for declaring the national state of disaster is a move that clearly demonstrates that we as government are compassionate and prioritizes the lives of our people. As part of the city's immediate contribution to curb the coronavirus in our space, we have resolved to use our emergency funds to procure the vaccine Interferon B from Cuba and other related medicine and vaccines elsewhere, so that we can ensure that the current state is kept. Obviously, this is subject to approval by approval of the Medical Control Council, which is a relevant authority which will actually have to give us permission to go ahead. I must state, Madam Speaker, that this drug, once purchased, will be administered by our professionals. All this is being done in consultation with the MEC of Health in Gauteng, Dr. Bandile Masuku. After this council meeting, I will be announcing further extraordinary measures that the city will be employing in trying to deal with this pandemic. At the present moment, we have 4 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Ekurhuleni, and our health authorities are dealing with the matter. We remain vigilant in monitoring the situation, and we are ready to work with national and provincial government to combat the spread of this disease. As we do this, we reiterate our call for our people not to panic and follow the guidelines issued by government with regard to high standard of hygiene. In the meantime, Madam Speaker, we have set up the Joint Operations Center, which is monitoring the situation and giving the administration blow-by-blow reports in terms of what is happening in our space. And we can assure our citizens that, and the government as a whole, that we are on top of the situation. At this point, I wish to appeal to members of the community to work with us as we work towards managing this pandemic. Madam Speaker, the month of April marks exactly 27 years anniversary of the passing of Chris Hani, who was brutally assassinated. We must thank the Minister of Justice for continuously ensuring that those who murdered this revolutionary leader remains in prison. An assassination so devastating to the quest for liberation that it threatened to plunge our country into civil war. As we commemorate the life and times of Comrade Chris Hani, we do so convinced that Sonyane would have been proud of the track record of this municipality towards the realization of what is called the Triple H campaign for the provision of decent housing, quality health care, and our efforts in fighting hunger. I am happy to announce that the Don Park home of Chris Hani has now been declared the heritage site. And the family museum depicting the life and times of the stalwart will be opened on the 10th of April 2020 this year. The opening of the museum will present a new tourism and economic opportunity for those living in the neighborhood, and as a city, we invite them to sponsor ideas on how we can make the facility even more bigger success as we work with them. Madam Speaker, this is a penitentiary state of the city under the administration. A year from now, we'll be delivering our last address in this council to account for the totality of the 5 years that our voters have given us. Our people mandated us to provide them with decent housing, proper road, and quality services. They've asked us to tackle corruption and expand healthcare services, amongst others. The people further appealed to us, amongst others, to ensure that we make informal settlement more livable so that they can restore human dignity. We had this mandate and came up with a pro-poor program aimed at fast-tracking and sustaining service delivery. An action plan to achieve this outcome during this term of office was developed. We've put in place the manifesto that was informed by the wishes of our people. As previously alluded to, at the heart of this pro-poor program has always been the landmark of Siyakuba Mayoral Outreach Program. This program has made a tremendous impact on fast-tracking service delivery within our municipality, whilst ensuring that we improve turnaround time on the public complaints that we receive. This was a deliberate act by our administration to have all our employees do more work on the ground than sitting in their offices. Madam Speaker, I wish to take this council in terms of the report around the governance cluster, firstly, stating that we must appreciate that the system that we have put in place to deal with CAPEX challenges are bearing fruits, while the counterparts in the city of Cape Town, Johannesburg, and the city of Tshwane have struggled to spend. They've struggled to spend, with the former sitting at about 2 billion of unspent grants. Our city has recorded 94.3% CAPEX expenditure against the 95 planned target. The overall spending of grant was at 94%, amounting to about 2.67 billion of the total capped grant of 2.197 billion. Through our accelerated effort of the city, all our CAPEX grants were spent 100%, apart from PTNG as NDPG. Challenges resulting on the non-spending were, amongst others, the community disruption that we have witnessed, but I must say that as the administration, we are now on top of the situation. In addition to this, our liquidity position remained greatly satisfactory. The city generated a positive cash flow of about 3 billion rand from its operating activities. The cash on hand is about 3.4 billion, and 1.9 billion is invested to the repayment of our long-term borrowings, and the cash on hand is average 30 days by the year end. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, we have invested about 1 billion rand on our own revenue in the capital replacement and repaid a long-term loan for about 400 million rand. As a second quarter that ended on the 31st December 2019, our total current asset amounted to about 13.5 billion, while our current liabilities amounted to about 8.4 billion rand. The current ratio, therefore, is 1.6:1, which indicate that our city can meet working capital requirements. The state of our entities, Madam Speaker, I must state that remains a great concern to us, and we are in the process of finding lasting solutions to ensure that we deal with challenges that confront our SOEs. Madam Speaker, the Auditor General recently detailed for us what the fiscal health of our city is. The city has again achieved the unqualified audit opinion. It is general auditor's judgment that our municipality's financial statements are fairly and appropriately presented without any identified exception and in compliance with general acceptable accounting principle. The city has achieved unqualified audit opinion with clean audit on financial statement. I must state, Madam Speaker, that over 2 successive years, we have had zero unauthorized expenditure, zero fruitless and wasteful expenditure, and irregular expenditure has decreased from 215 million to about 5 million in the last financial year. And as stated that our audit is clean on the financial statement. On our human resource systems, we are on the right track, and this was recently confirmed by South African Board of Personnel Practitioners, which awarded the city with an overall winner of the public sector HR standard in 2019. It is further pointed out that our healthy relationship with our stakeholders through the local labor forum, especially the trade unions, has led to the stability in the workplace, thus ensuring that more work gets done and we avoid unnecessary stoppages, especially from our staff. As we migrate to become the smart city, our efforts to roll out the enterprise resource plan, the ERP, which will mitigate all our systems while ensuring that quality management of information is done, is entering its final stage. It's now entering its final stage. The intervention plus the speedy rollout of the broadband will ensure that our city's effectiveness and automated way of conducting business is upon us. In actual fact, we continue to improve our service delivery app, which has made reporting and the turnaround time to service delivery interruption much easier. The facility already enjoys about 133,000 users, and our target is to double this figure within the next 6 months. Furthermore, we look forward to introducing the 24-hour news portal, which will link to our new app. The portal will ensure that our people get updated information in real time. Fellow councillors, our work cannot be complete if we do not pay special attention to risk factors which may derail our work. As such, our risk management team must continue to assist us with proactive situational analysis to avoid unexpected external forces that may derail our governance issues. With regard to infrastructure cluster, Madam Speaker, since the beginning of our term of office, we have steadfastly stated that our key priorities is to ensure that every citizen's life in this city is of value and that our people live in dignity. It was very touching and emotional moment when the city handed to Ugogo Sarang Ngozo, a 103-year-old lady who had become a first-time owner in Mackenzieville Extension 2. To date, Ugogo can sleep peacefully in a safe house because it is comfortable. We are determined to realize our aspirations of the Freedom Charter. Having long had an understanding, we have always prioritized the electrification of the cities, especially including the informal settlement. Since the beginning of our term, we had reported that we've got 119 informal settlements. I'm happy, Madam Speaker, to report back that 34 of the 119 informal settlements have now been electrified, benefiting way over 50,000 people within the city of Ekurhuleni. And they are all now enjoying electricity for the first time. This includes the additional 6,546 informal shacks that have been electrified in the ESCOM licensed areas. Since the beginning of term of this office, a number of informal settlements were added into the electrification project. By June this year, an additional 22,000 homes will also be connected, bringing the total number of the connected to grid since 2000 to about 93,000 within the city. In our quest to minimize the threat of people becoming victims of crime, we have rolled out 3,646 street lights across the city and 295 high-mast lighting, mainly in previously disadvantaged areas, as well as the new establishment. In the State of the City's address delivered last month, President Cyril Ramaphosa focused greatly on on electricity challenges that confronted our country. He correctly asserted that the load shedding of the past few months had a debilitating effect on the country and severe setback our efforts to rebuild the economy and create jobs. Importantly, it disrupt people's life, causing frustration, inconvenience, and hardship. We had President Ramaphosa clearly when he said that municipalities can now have powers to procure their own energy sources. We welcome this initiative we welcome this initiative and we welcome this intervention as it speaks to our priority of boosting our grid and stabilize the supply to our citizens and our industry. In the new financial year, we will finalize the implementation of our cities program to purchase electricity from the appointed power producers. I must say, report to council that a total of 46 companies have already been awarded a tender to generate additional energy into our city. We're looking at green energy, but we are going to diversify to ensure that we look in all other forms of energy so that we can ensure security of supply to our citizens. Madam Speaker, cable theft remains the challenge that destabilizes the effective functionality of government, business as well as community at large. However, I am pleased to mention that we are now deploying a new technology to fight cable theft, and we're also seeking an alternative to copper to minimize power theft because this copper is traded illegally in other spaces. Since August last year, over 116 arrests have already been made, and we wish to reiterate that we plan to take no prisoners in dealing with cable theft, and all those who are involved in cable theft should be warned that we are now upping our game in ensuring that we save energy in our space. Madam Speaker, our Aqualib program, which aims at addressing the security of water supply, is on track. In this regard, we are one of the first cities in the country that have embarked on the program to construct about 29 reservoirs and towers simultaneously. We are spending a tune of 1.2 billion to do this, Madam Speaker. One of these will be the biggest in the continent and among the biggest in the world. It will be commissioned this year in